Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. And if you're new to the program, welcome. Make sure you subscribe and click that notification bell so you know when I go live. Okay, so we're going to get right into it. I'm going to go through in a few minutes this epic takedown that Bobby Kennedy did with fake Indian Pocahontas, Elizabeth Warren today, which was beautiful. But I want to start with this lowlife, John Bolton, who has just been just a nasty person. Now, of course, last week, Kash Patel and Dan Bongino's FBI raided his home and office. And now, because we have not just a transparent administration, the Trump administration is the most transparent administration in history. And they've just released already all the contents that they took from John Bolton's house and all. So I'm going to go through that, and then we'll get into RFK, and we got a whole bunch more to get into. This is the Brian Craig Show podcast, available on all podcast platforms. Just search for the Brian Craig Show podcast on any podcast platform that you listen to. And if you want to catch the show live and call in, follow me on YouTube, Brian Craig Show on YouTube. All right, so this is from the New York Post. Here's the headline. Here's what FBI agents took from John Bolton's house in raid and what charges he could face. Oh, yes. So let me just read through this. New York Post. Federal agents seized 3 computers, 2 phones, and reams of documents for former Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton's house during their August 22nd raid, according to court records, which also revealed that the 76-year-old could soon face charges that may land him in prison for more than a decade. And at his age, that's pretty much a life sentence. So he's facing life in prison. The feds raided Bolton's Bethesda, Maryland home and D.C. office as part of an investigation into allegations he snuck national security files out of the White House during President Trump's first term by emailing them to family members. Bless you. That was my wife in the background sneezing, if you heard. By emailing them to family members on a private server. Oh, just like Mrs. Clinton, huh? Mm-hmm. That's right. High-ranking FBI officials told the New York Post at the time. In addition to the high-tech hardware, FBI agents confiscated 2 USB drives, a hard drive, 4 boxes of printed daily activities, typed documents in folders labeled Trump 1 through 4. Oh, my goodness. So what is he doing, spy work over there? He was keeping a file system on President Trump? These are the things that they seized, the FBI last week. Typed documents in folders labeled Trump 1 through 4 and a white binder labeled Statements and Reflections to Allied Strikes, according to the inventory list. What a strange grouping of things John Bolton had. This is beautiful. I love it. This is great. It couldn't happen to a nicer guy. The FBI warrant also revealed that John Bolton's being looked at for allegedly violating 2 sections of the Espionage Act of 1917, forbidding unauthorized possession or removal of national security information, and another law preventing hoarding of classified information. Hoarding. Wow, they got a hoarding law? They must have a big problem with it. If tried and convicted on all counts, Bolton could face up to 25 years behind bars. And remember, he's 76, so a life sentence. The longtime diplomat has not been arrested or charged with a crime. Not yet, but they can. Investigators shelved the case during the Biden administration, and now we've got it back. You know, this is the thing, okay? Obviously, this guy's a bad guy. Obviously, he's guilty of these things, right? The allegations are true. And they knew before they went in what he had, because they'd already done an investigation, and from wherever they do such things, they've already been in his computers, right? They were in his computers from wherever they're located, some remote location before they went in. So they knew exactly what they were looking for. And they may even have known about these specific files, Trump 1 through 4, because they could access the cameras on his computers and see what's there. But you know what I wonder about this? And I haven't heard anyone speculate on it with this John Bolton raid. How did they know about these things? Now, there was this investigation that they stopped and shelved, but that was a long time ago. So how'd they know? And what I'm wondering, and maybe you have some thoughts on this, but what I'm wondering is this information that was gathered through Pam Bondi's grand jury? Pam Bondi has a grand jury, we know from John Solomon from Just the News, and John Solomon has been the lead reporter in all this. There are multiple grand juries, with the main ones in Fort Pierce, Florida, where the second Trump assassin is facing trial in Judge Cannon's courtroom in Fort Pierce, Florida, which is the most MAGA federal district there is in the United States, I promise you, okay? That grand jury and that jury for a trial out of that courthouse in Fort Pierce will be mostly MAGA. I'm telling you, it's hardcore MAGA area. So I'm wondering if they got, because this is some real specific information about that they got out of there, some very strange things. Do you think any of this came from these grand juries? And it very well could have. And, you know, John Bolton, he's part of that deep state group. And it's so interesting to watch the mainstream liberal media defend John Bolton, because, you know, people have forgotten, but the mainstream media that are out there defending John Bolton right now, they used to hate him like no one's business. I remember George W. Bush wanted to appoint him to be the UN ambassador so bad, and the Democrats were just having fits about it. And the 24-hour cable news cycle was telling us what a Nazi he was and everything all the time. And he got the appointment from President George W. Bush on a recess appointment. And when he did that, they were ticked. The same people that are defending him today were having meltdowns about John Bolton years ago. So, but people have forgotten all that. But I remember it, and probably a lot of you remember it too. And I'm so curious, and I'm surprised. You know, the Pam Bondi grand juries, we know they exist, but we have nothing's leaked out. Nothing is supposed to leak out of grand juries. Grand juries are supposed to be secret. In the past, the Democrats, they leak. But this is not. I hope he gets arrested and goes to prison. He's a real bad guy. And I'm very interested in knowing what are in these files, Trump 1 through 4, and if they have anything to do with the lawfare that President Trump has been going through. Has he been part of the Obama coup operation, conspiring with a lot of people to do all these things that have been happening to Trump, and the things in those files that John Bolton had, that Kash Patel took, Trump 1 through 4, do they have anything to do with that? I just finished doing a Newsmax interview, so anytime you see me shave, there's a good chance that I've shaved because I'm going to be on television, and I just recorded a Newsmax interview for the Wendy Bell Show that'll air Saturday and Sunday, multiple times throughout the day and evening over the weekend. So keep an eye out for me on the Wendy Bell Show on Newsmax. The time that it airs will depend on what time zone you're on. So go to newsmax.com and look that up, okay? And it was a really good show. We covered a lot of great topics that I'm not going to talk about here, but check it out on the weekend. All right, let's take some calls. The number to call in is toll-free. If you're watching live on YouTube, the number is pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Oh, hey, Mike. How you doing?
This raid on Bolton's house, him of the porn mustache.
Yeah.
But
and by the way, this thing with the mustache, can you imagine what it must be like to go out and eat with this guy? I mean, anything he eats has got to be it's got to be gross. I would not be able to have a meal with John Bolton. It would be gross, no matter what. Even if he had like I'm drinking bottled water right now, and my lip's a little wet, my upper lip, it'd be all in it. If he's out having some soup or something, it's got to be all in that weird barbershop quartet mustache he's got going on.
Yeah, and that's the thing. But remember there were these burn bags that were found by.
That's right.
By, and maybe it might not have
the burn bags that were found by Bongino and Kash Patel at the FBI.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. This might not be out of that grand jury. This might be out of some information that's out of them burn bags.
It could be. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you remember when the liberals hated this guy? They were calling him a Nazi and a nationalist and all these things. Now the media love him, John Bolton. That's that Trump derangement syndrome.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely true. He's one of these guys on the lower level that could end up with the death sentence of being in life in jail because of this stuff, and it's likely probably that he will end up that way. Now we got to see it. This is part of the grand jury, but again,
the grand jury. I'm expecting some big things out of that grand jury because President Trump has been very excited around Pam Bondi and Kash Patel lately. He's been praising them so much, and he's getting briefed, so he knows what's coming.
And really, with those burn bags, not a lot has come out of those burn bags.
No,
not a lot of information.
Mm-mm.
So we don't know how bad that information is in those burn bags.
Yep. I know. I can't wait. Isn't it great? Isn't that, when Trump left the White House after his first term, I know it was sad for, I was down there. If you guys that watch me on YouTube, I went and saw President Trump when he came back home. I was one of the last people that saw him as the actual president in his first term. And I saw him like the last 10 or 15 minutes of his first term and in person with my very own eyes, with wearing this hat I'm holding in my hand, actually, this Make America Great Again hat. I'm wearing a Trump 2028 hat, but this MAGA hat I was wearing. And I went to the airport and saw Air Force One leave without him. And it left Palm Beach without him. And it was so sad. And I told you guys, I said, listen, when Trump comes back for his second and non-consecutive term, he's going to have a complete mandate. It's going to be so cool and so perfect and awesome. I never predicted it to be going this well. But this is so much better than if he had the 2 terms back to back, isn't it? It's so much better.
And this whole situation with Bolton is a win. I never get tired of winning. This is a big win.
Oh yeah. Could you imagine? He must be freaking out. I wonder if the search warrant covered his mustache. Did they search to see if he had any USB thumb drives in his mustache? I'd like to see.
Who knows?
Maybe the mustache. Maybe the mustache itself is a USB drive. Maybe it comes off and he can plug it into a computer.
Oh.
What a jerk! All right, Mike. Take care, Mike from Louisiana. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Reggie. I called on the show before. I'm from Tucson.
All right, Reggie. What's on your mind?
Well, look. First, I want to know. You have to tell me. Maybe I'm not hip to the lore or any of that stuff, but is the Trump 2028 hat, is that like for real, or are you just like sort of?
Of course, it's for real.
Hoping to bear it?
I bought this hat from the official Trump store, so I bought it from Trump, and you can actually, these hats are in the White House gift shop at the White House. President Trump has shown them to some world leaders. He turned the room that Bill Clinton used to have cigar sex with Monica in, he turned into a gift shop. And they got all these different MAGA hats and Trump hats, and one of the ones you can get in the White House gift shop is the one I'm wearing, Trump 2028.
Do you think he's trolling, or do you think he's sincere? He actually wants to run in 2028?
He wants to run in 2028, absolutely.
Do you think that's legal yet, or is he going to need a constitutional amendment?
It could be changed. This guy was, President Trump can accomplish miracles. He literally dodged a speeding bullet. It just grazed his ear, clipped a little bit of his ear. He got elected to a second non-consecutive term, beating all these lawfare people, arrested him on phony charges and phony court cases and things. A man who could do all those things, he could find a way to get reelected in 2028.
Well, to be clear, Grover Cleveland was the first president to win.
I didn't say he was the first.
Okay, yeah, but it's not much of a miracle then if he's not the first.
It is a miracle. It's only happened once before, and that was over 100 years ago.
I guess that's not that rare, though. And
It is
also,
rare. Grover Cleveland. What number president was Grover Cleveland?
Probably in the 20s range.
Yeah,
somewhere around
maybe.
there.
Now, I don't know. I mean, if you count up from Lincoln, who was 16th, I don't know. Yeah, but that's very rare. And I don't understand why you have a problem with that. You don't want him to have a third term?
No, I don't think he's a good president. Remember, I was debating against you on him. Yeah.
What makes him bad? What's the most recent thing he's done that's bad?
Ooh. What was because last time we talked about the we talked about the
he was
the
Grover
illegal...
Cleveland was the 22nd and 24th president. Yeah, I just looked it up.
Okay. Yeah. No, last time we were talking about the illegal TCOT deportation. Right, and my issue with that was that there were two things. One is that the executive order right now going after deportations, it says that it's going after invaders who are violating our national sovereignty or who are like mostly criminals.
Okay, during the Second World War, okay, Hitler, okay, when the socialist Hitler, because he was a socialist, right, National Socialism, right, Nazis, National Socialism.
Yes.
No, hold on a second. I'm making a point here. Hitler called for Germans around the world to return to the fatherland, and a lot of American Germans did just that. And they had a spy school where they took Americans, born and raised Americans, but of German descent. Maybe their parents or grandparents were immigrants, and they trained them. And he sent 5 Americans of German descent who went to Germany when the Nazis took over. During the war, they landed on a beach in Florida to commit acts of terrorism, which they never were. They were going to, blow up power plants and stuff, and they did. They got caught before they did it. They were American citizens, and they were American citizens. They caught them. They were executed within a week by Franklin Roosevelt's government. FDR, when he was president-elect the first time, when he first got elected, right, in 1933, there was an assassination attempt on him in Miami Beach, Florida, at Bayfront Park. And he didn't hit Roosevelt, but he hit the mayor. I want to say it was the mayor of Chicago was with him. And the mayor of Chicago died. He was tried and executed within a month of the assassination attempt. So, and he got due process, like those 5 Americans that came over here to work for the Nazis in the war. Due process is these illegals are all getting their due process, but what you guys want to do on the left is have endless court cases that go on forever and a day to try to run out President Trump's term, and you figure you'll get a Democrat in who will release them. We're not, everyone's getting their due process.
So the only thing that proper conservatives like me want is for basic rights to be followed according to
proper conservatives, but communal law. Are you what are you, a sovereign citizen or something? Are you one of those sovereign citizen lunatics?
So all you do is these criminals that we're rounding up.
Oh, you didn't answer. Are you one of those sovereign citizen nutcases?
What do you mean when you say that? I don't understand what
you said. A true conservative and something about communal rights. That just sounds like sovereign citizen talk.
Constitutional rights. The Constitution, the thing that's more important than Donald Trump, the Constitution, right?
Yeah, I know about I know. Yeah. President Trump has taken an oath twice to uphold it and defend it.
Yep. The Supreme Court has warned him numerous times that he's about to tread on the Constitution, and he's disregarded those claims like multiple times. He doesn't.
The Supreme Court doesn't tell. Don't. You better not do this. They make rulings on things when they get cases. They're not.
So are you opposed to what Biden did with the OSHA mandates, where he was trying to force vaccines?
I'm opposed to everything Biden did. He was a corrupt public official. He spent his whole life taking bribes. I mean, he's a gangster, Biden. Trump's not a gangster.
Yes, so it was good whenever the.
What are you? Are you a libertarian? What are you?
Yes, I'm a libertarian.
A libertarian, a traditional. Libertarians are a bunch of do-nothing losers.
No.
Yeah, because what you do, like Rand Paul, libertarians. You think you're better than everyone else. Like you've said a couple times, a true conservative. You think you're better than everybody else, you have these standards that can never be achieved, where so nothing gets done. You're a bunch of idiots and do nothings.
So I'm not going to bootlick Trump or Biden. I'm going to follow the law. Like that's what
I know.
it's there for.
No,
And so
libertarians, you libertarians put yourselves up on this pedestal that you are the best of everything, and you're the true constitutionalist, and nothing ever gets done because you guys just talk with all these gobbledygook things, and you mention Constitution every few words to make you sound like you're right. But libertarians, you get nothing done.
Well, maybe just follow the law.
Maybe follow the law. I know. Follow the law. How about repel the invaders that have illegally come into our country, invaded it, and are raping and murdering our women? Hey, appreciate the call, man. Take care. How about that? Oh, my goodness. If you're on hold, hang in there. We're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, I'm going to go back to the phones. We'll be right back.
Have you ever tried to walk in someone else's shoes? Author Ellie Gregg did. Literally. At the foot of New Zealand's Franz Josef Glacier, Ellie slipped on a pair of borrowed boots and stepped into the unfinished journey of a young man named Keller. Don't forget your travel guide, Part 1, Bootstrapping, available on Amazon, isn't just a travel memoir. It's a soulful collection of over 100 one-page reflections, blending poetry, philosophy, questions, and quest, all designed to inspire you to see the world and yourself differently. As author Ellie Gregg walks through grief and across continents, Keller becomes more than a memory. He becomes a guide, and with every step, the author invites you to pause, reflect, and embrace the grace even in the coldest places. This book is not about destinations, it's about transformation. If you're searching for meaning, healing, or just a new perspective, this is the journey you've been searching for. Order your copy of Don't Forget Your Travel Guide Part 1, Bootstrapping, from author Ellie Gregg, on Amazon and Kindle and paperback, because sometimes the best way forward is to walk in someone else's shoes. Order your copy right now. Are you searching for wisdom that actually transforms your life? In a world full of quick fixes and empty advice, author Paul Geis brings you something timeless in Biblical Wisdom for Modern Living, a self-help guide on Proverbs with insights from Mother Mary, available on Amazon. This powerful book takes the eternal truths of Proverbs and the spiritual lessons from Mother Mary's apparitions at Guadalupe, Lourdes, and Fatima, and shows you how they apply to today's challenges. When you read Biblical Wisdom for Modern Living, you'll discover how to strengthen your relationships, master communication, find deeper purpose in your work, manage your finances with contentment, and grow in true wisdom. Biblical Wisdom for Modern Living gives you enduring principles rooted in God's Word, paired with reflection questions as well as actionable steps for real transformation. Biblical Wisdom for Modern Living, a self-help guide on Proverbs with insights from Mother Mary, is available now on Amazon in paperback, Kindle, and free with Kindle Unlimited. And don't miss out on author Paul Geis's other inspiring books, A Leap in Faith in Detroit and Breaking the Label. Both books are also available on Amazon. Transform your life with wisdom that lasts. Start today with author Paul Geis's books on Amazon. They slaughtered his kin. They took his granddaughter. They left him to die. But death was not the end. In the shadowed lands of ancient Mesopotamia, an old man rises from the earth, wounded, changed, and hungering for something he does not understand. Each step on his blood-soaked path brings him closer to the raiders and deeper into the grip of a darkness older than the cities of man. A cloaked giant walks the night. A silhouette of a small boy haunts him. With every bite of human flesh, he grows stronger and less certain he remains himself. Somewhere beyond the deserts and walled cities, his granddaughter waits, or what remains of her. And under the gaze of the full moon, the line between human and monster fades. Order your copy of The Sumerian Birth of the Revenant right now on Amazon.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Brian Craig Show podcast. Thanks for tuning in. All right, if you're watching live on YouTube, you can call in the numbers in the live chat, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. The Brian Craig Show is available on all podcast platforms, So just go to wherever you get your podcast, search for The Brian Craig Show. We'll pop right up. But if you want to catch the show live and call in, follow me on the YouTube. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Sean from Massachusetts.
Hey, Sean, what up?
Oh, I'm unlike, the libertarians, we actually have somebody in office who can accomplish so much.
Yeah.
In such a short time. And speaking of that, I saw an awesome story about how he might, and for the New York against Mandani there, that socialist, that he might try and, as a strategy to stop him, he might try and get Lewa and Adams to join his administration.
Yeah.
And that forced Cuomo faces him without the opposition.
Well, it looks like President Trump he has talked to Cuomo. We know this. This has been reported. And I was talking about this morning on the morning show. So it came out of the White House that Trump's going to offer a job to Mayor Adams and Curtis Sliwa. And don't worry about them releasing statements. They're not going to take the job. They're going to take the job. And it'll be a two-man race, Governor Cuomo versus Zohan. And I saw Zohan. I might pull this up. I couldn't play it this morning on the radio because of the language. There was some language in the beginning. But Zohan looked terrified. He looked scared to death.
He did.
And because he saw his whole campaign fading away in front of himself because he thought the anti-votes against him were going to be split three ways. And now that he's got to go one-on-one against somebody, if this goes through, he's not happy.
Well, what's funny is he's up there, right, and he definitely looks nervous, and he's saying, oh, well, we're confident we can still win, and he's up there in a panic. Now, if you were that confident, why would you get up there like that, stop saying all those things?
Yeah, in fact, I watched it on the local news in New York City, and they described it as Zoran Mamdani has called an emergency press conference, and you could see the panic in his face. Then later, last night, he went on MSNBC on Lawrence O'Donnell. He's it's over in his mind. He's like, oh man, I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Adams and Sliwa, they're just playing politics. You get up there and you got to say certain things up there, but I think that very well could happen, and I think that would be the greatest thing for New York to happen. I mean,
doesn't Mayor Adams need a pardon? Isn't he? Is he still facing charges? I don't remember. Is he? Trump will take care of it. Trump will take care of it. Trump will get him out of the race.
Right. I mean, this is actually a good strategy, enemy of an enemy, because something that saves New York. I'm not a fan of Cuomo, and I don't think any of my guys is anyway. But I think what's going to happen is that either you're going to have the country in the middle ground rather than be taken over.
I would rather have, and this is a true statement. I'm not joking. I would rather have Hillary Clinton as mayor of New York than Zohan. Zohan's bad news. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unbelievable. But I think that's going to be great to see, and I think that Trump said he has something he was going to do, and you know what? It just can't. It's just unbelievable how he just does this. He always finds a way, and that's what's so amazing. This man just gets it all done, and I said yesterday, it's not rhetoric, it's action. And I just so happy that he's doing
this
and
is
everything
great.
else, and then watching that drug boat get destroyed.
Oh, that was beautiful. I love that. I can't wait to see another one. All right, I don't know. Are the drug boats still coming, or are they afraid to leave?
Well,
I wouldn't get on one.
It's psychological. I mean, because now he's saying, well, you don't know where it's going to happen, and that's what's going to have them starting to think now, and they're all nervous. It's all hell.
That's awesome.
It's going to be awesome.
Would you? I mean, they don't. These guys don't want to get on drug boats. Now they might get blown up by Trump.
You just don't know when and how it's going to happen, and I think that's what's great about this. It's put so much fear, because they've never known anything like this before.
Yep.
It's something they never faced before. They've always been the bullies. Now
That's right.
It's time for them to finally feel the justice.
That's right. All right. Hey, listen, appreciate the call, man. Take care. All right. Good points, as always. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, my name is Edwin, and I want to talk about the big beautiful bill, and what are your thoughts on it?
Oh, it's hard to hear. It's hard to hear you. You're so far from the phone. Can you? I'll talk about the big beautiful bill, but I got to hear you better.
Is that better?
No. Can you put your mouth close? Can you get off the Bluetooth?
Yeah. Sorry. Give me a second.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm patient for liberals.
Yeah,
I break for liberals. Yeah. And go ahead.
All right, yeah. So my name is Edwin, and I'm interested. What are your thoughts on the big, beautiful bill?
I love it.
How it's going to possibly impact the work class?
It really helped me a lot.
In which ways?
He made permanent most of the Trump tax cuts that were going to expire this year. So I would have had to pay a ton of money in income taxes because the Trump tax cuts were going to expire. And I'm not alone. Millions of Americans are very happy about that. Of course, you have to make money and pay taxes to benefit from that. Maybe you don't pay taxes. You don't make enough money. I don't know.
Yeah. But I noticed a lot online people were saying that those tax cuts were mostly going to benefit the 1%. And
that's all BS. No, that's what the 1%. So, listen, the more money you make, right, the more money you earn, the more money you save in taxes because you're paying more in taxes. But the big, beautiful bill also had in it no tax on tips. Those are lower income people, not the 1%ers.
Well, I don't know how that much will help because a lot of people receive tips. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't even put it.
Yeah, most people pay tips. No, very few people pay in cash anymore. I rarely pay in cash. So tips are done through Apple Pay or a debit card or something. So it's recorded. They're reported in the cash register. So they've had to pay taxes on them. So no taxes on tips. That's a good thing.
Yeah, but now since they receive a tip, they actually file.
I mean, you ever take an Uber? You tip your Uber driver. Now they don't have to pay taxes on that tip.
Yeah, but wouldn't that push them up the tax brackets and next and tax them even more?
What? What? I didn't understand. You're speaking liberalism, and it's hard to understand. But liberalism, yeah, it's like a foreign language. It's a language of gobbledygook. No tax on tips helps some of the hardest working lower income Americans we have.
Okay, the tax cuts from what I read from the bill, most of the bill, they were specifically targeting the upper class, not the lower class, not the middle class. No tax on tips, no tax on no tax on overtime, and a massive tax deduction of thousands of dollars was added to those receiving Social Security benefits. Yeah, so no, those are the most deserving and lower income earners in most instances. Well, from what I went to speak with the word to go do my taxes with, that's not the case.
Well, then you need a new accountant. You need to go to my accountant. You got to go to a real accountant. You have an accountant?
Yeah, I do.
And he told you what about the taxes?
I reviewed the documents.
You reviewed the documents. What do you do for a living? What do you do for a living?
I work as a computer science software engineer.
Okay, so you pay income taxes.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, sure. So you got you sound like you got a good job. You probably make 6 figures a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got big tax cuts. The Trump tax cuts were going to expire. They've been extended. And if you're telling the truth and you got an accountant who doesn't know that, you better get a new accountant.
But the lower class is going to get hurt even more. Like I said, this is only
listen, you can tell your accountant, okay, listen. When you do your taxes, do you take deductions?
Yeah, of course.
Why? You don't have to. You can take 0 deductions. Why do you take deductions? Why don't you take 0 deductions? Why do you take deductions? You don't have to.
Yeah, but the thing is...
No. Hold on a second here. You do not... Excuse me. Taking deductions is optional. You can tell your accountant, I want 0 deductions. You could do that, but you don't. You take deductions. Why do you take the deductions that the law entitles you to?
Yeah, you got a point there.
Exactly. Exactly, because it's your money. Right?
But I'll look back to my early claim about what's it called, the poor people being hurt even more. Because that's not benefiting those people. They're the majority of Americans.
Poor people? What poor people are you talking about?
The ones who are making less than $60,000 a year, they're the ones who will be the most negatively impacted by this.
How are they negatively impacted?
Because they're not they're having their safety nets like Medicaid, other stuff like that being removed.
No, Medicaid. No, that's not true. Yeah. That's not true. The only people that have had their the only people, there's a couple groups of people that have had their Medicaid benefits taken away, right? And, the illegals that aren't entitled to it. That's one. And people that have been.
They don't have access to it.
Well, they do. They commit fraud and get it.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do. All over the country. Sure, they do. All over the country, they do. Absolutely.
Social Security to apply for that. They don't have social.
They commit fraud and get it.
It verifies it. What, dude?
They're criminals. They're here illegally already. Okay, so what's another crime, right? They commit fraud and get it.
You do know to apply for it, you won't have to show paperwork. You should show your birth certificate. You should show all this other information. It has to all line up.
Yeah, they commit fraud. They commit fraud.
How would you commit fraud?
I don't know. I'm not a criminal. Ask an illegal.
No, it's because you don't
but
know.
But if no Americans who are legally entitled to Medicaid benefits have lost their Medicaid benefits. Only people that were committing fraud.
They never had access to it. They've never had access to it in the first place because they can't apply for it. Maybe that's because
they commit fraud, and the Democrats that work at the Medicaid agencies at the state level, they commit fraud with them. Hey, listen, I appreciate the call. I'm going to move on, but I'm going to move on, but I appreciate the call. Oh, my goodness. There's no Medicaid fraud. Right. Oh, my goodness. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, hey, man. I didn't expect to get on here. I'm calling from Boston, Massachusetts.
What do you mean you didn't expect to get on? You called me.
Yeah, no, I did, but...
I can put you back on hold if you want.
I have no idea who you are.
I'm the guy you're watching on YouTube. My name's Brian.
Yeah, that's great. And I came across your little YouTube show.
My little YouTube show? I have almost 100. I have over 100,000 subscribers to my YouTube channel. I have over 2 million views a month. But yeah, that's small by you. Man. I mean, I know I'm not Mr. Beast, but that's how many people watch your YouTube channel every month? Yeah, I got over 2 million. I got over 2 million a month.
I don't think I came on here being super adversarial. So
you said my little channel. I'm correcting the record.
Have a normal Okay.
No, you said something. I was correcting you.
Okay, I'll let you finish whatever you're going to say.
Thank you.
It is your show after all.
Yes. No, go ahead. What's on your mind? What's on your mind?
Yes. What's on my mind is I just want to get to know what are you all about? Are you love Trump?
Absolutely.
That's clear. That's
Absolutely.
Great.
Yep.
I have a different opinion. So do many people.
Yeah, but you're in a cult. You're in a cult.
I want to know about you and your principles and what you care about.
Well,
what
okay.
do you care about?
Mm-hmm. First, I'm going to tell you what I care about. But first of all, if you're not MAGA, you're in a cult. President Trump won a national election. He won the majority of the vote, and he won the battleground state. No, you're in the minority. You're in the minority.
If I'm not in your camp,
yes,
of a very, very, very specific,
Trump
contextualized.
Most people voted for Trump.
In your political camp, I'm in a cult.
Well, he won the majority.
You don't know anything about me.
I know a lot about you.
You don't know anything about me.
I've talked to thousands of people like you over 30 years doing this, and believe me, I can tell a lot about you. But no, President Trump won the popular vote, won all the battleground states, and flipped a bunch of blue counties red in California. So most people are with Trump. His latest,
I know the statistics.
They're not statistics. It's real. But what do I care about? Well, the first thing I care about is my family.
Great, me too. I love my family.
Yeah,
and I think that's a really amazing first principle.
Yeah, but I do love Donald Trump.
Building a world.
He's President Trump is the greatest president of my lifetime, and arguably the greatest president in our history.
So let's stop right there. Let's take that claim. And I would vehemently disagree with that. And here's why. Is because almost every decision that Trump has made has not been good for average American working class families.
Hold on a second. Okay, slow down. A couple days ago, I'm gonna bring up a couple things. I'm gonna bring up. Excuse me. A couple days ago, he ordered and authorized a very successful military strike and took out a drug trafficker boat that was bringing poison to the United States. There are people who will not have access to those drugs and may not OD because of it. You don't think that's a good thing he's done for the American people?
Okay. So I know what happened with the boat in Venezuela. I saw that news. I have not yet seen any strong evidence put forward to show that we knew for a fact that they were bringing drugs from Venezuela.
Okay, well, what about this one? He just made a unilateral decision. The military didn't make the decision. The military doesn't make decisions. The president is the commander in chief.
Let's go back to the original question.
Okay, now here's a no. What about this? I'll give you another thing he's done that's.
You're getting really far removed from that.
Oh no, he's done good. If you're a family living in Washington D.C., it's now safe to walk the streets. It's crime-free. You don't have to worry about getting shot and pistol whipped and raped and stuff, thanks to President Trump in Washington, D.C. now. Is that a good thing?
You're crazy.
I know. I'm very good. I'm very good.
That's so funny.
I'm very good at what I do.
Just
Thank
because,
you.
Washington, D.C. is not a violent city.
It was a couple weeks ago. Are you kidding? I saw a reporter. There was a reporter at the White House the other day. She was from NTD News. She got robbed and pistol whipped. Right down the street from the White House. There was Brian Glenn, another White House press corps member, was robbed at gunpoint and mugged down the street from the White House.
Hey man, we could go back and forth picking out different stories all day.
Well, these are. You said that it was filled with crime. Now it's not.
I could give you a million instances of people, not a million, but I could give you a lot of instances of school shooters or other mass shooters who praised Trump.
Really? Like that liberal transgendered shooter that killed the babies at the church in Minneapolis last week? You talking about those like that? That was a MAGA guy?
Liberal, it's funny that you call this person liberal. You've clearly done no research.
I didn't say I didn't say he was liberal. I asked, was he a MAGA guy?
Across the internet, it's very well documented that this person was a neo-Nazi.
Really? Wait a minute. The neo-Nazis, you can be hold on a second. You can be the Nazis. I want to go back to I'm sure you'd like. No. Hold on. Are you telling me
we're getting too far away?
We're not getting too far away. You're in La La Land. Okay. I forgot what line he's on. Is this you? Did I lose you? Okay. Hold on a second. Is this you? Oh, I lost him.
Hello?
Yeah, okay, hold on a second. I lost him. He just made the claim. He got disconnected by mistake. You can call back. He just made the claim that the Minneapolis transgendered shooter is a Nazi. Are the Nazis taking transgendered people in their ranks now? There's a conflict between being transgender and being a Nazi. I hate to tell you. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, this is Ann Vakasic.
Ann the what?
Brian Craig?
This is Brian.
Ann Vakasic.
Yeah. Okay, yes, I'm Brian Craig, yes.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm confused because I think I'm watching something else for you right now. But you talked to a guy earlier, and he was arguing with you about how illegal aliens cannot commit Medicaid fraud.
Yes.
Well, that's not true. I am a former Medicaid, TANF, food stamp caseworker.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you, I got warrants for many other arrests. I've spoken to you before. You actually put my book up on TV.
Oh, yeah, your popsicle toes or something, right?
They called me Fraud Buster. That was my nickname. And I can tell
popsicle
that guy,
toes.
if he's still listening, yes. I can tell him exactly how they commit fraud.
No. I don't want you to tell people how to do crime, but you know what happened because you were a caseworker and saw it.
You know how I busted them because they used.
Don't tell people how to commit fraud. I'll take your word for it. All right, appreciate the call. Okay. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Dave from Boca. How you doing tonight, Brian?
All right. What's up?
Hey, the thing about the shooter that you guys just brought up, I heard earlier, this guy had $100,000 worth of ammo and
really
guns.
I didn't hear that.
Just
really?
Just like the other one in like the other two had like
That's crazy.
They had $40,000 worth of weapons.
Really?
And the one in Texas had $15,000 worth of weapons on them.
I did not know
So
that.
where are all these people getting these weapons? Or the money for the weapons?
Credit cards?
And then the other question I have is, I don't know either. And then the other thing I want to ask is, why do we care about 1 minute of film at the Epstein door? Let's ask for a whole day's worth of film that shows people coming in and out. I really don't understand the thing about, who cares about 1 minute of film?
Exactly.
I'd like to see it 2 hours before he died and 2 hours after he died.
And I'd like to see the bank accounts of the guards and their extended families investigated.
Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah, the ones sleeping, making money.
Yeah. So whoever got, if anybody got paid, if anybody got paid, they're not too far removed. A cousin, a mom, somebody's a guy. Yeah.
And that's the same thing with this still. They'll just knock it down the road to their second cousin on the third side. You know, I mean, it's going to be hard to catch those thieves.
Yeah, yeah. The last caller though, he said the transgendered shooter.
Oh, he's a nut.
He said the transgendered shooter in Minneapolis was a Nazi. The Nazis take transgendered people now?
No.
No, the Nazis don't like transgendered people. Oh my goodness.
That one lady, dude, she says, I don't know why these people trans are going for people because they don't like you.
Yeah.
They will kill you.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. You're like, no. Are they so dumb?
Yes, they're dumb.
You know.
They're dumb.
You have a good evening.
All right, take care. All right. If you want to call in, the number is pinned in the live chat. I'm going to take a quick break. We'll come back with your calls, and there's a lot more to talk about. I'm Brian. It's the Brian Craig Show podcast. This is where MAGA comes to talk. We'll be back right after this.
Hear ye, hear ye. Tom Laporta here from Laporta Roofing. Floridians, take note. Ron DeSantis and the state of Florida have allocated $280 million for the 25-26 fiscal year to fund new grants under My Safe Florida Home program. This grant is up to $10,000 when you spend $15,000 or more on your project. This may include roofing and wind mitigation systems. Go online at mysafefloridahome.com and get approved before the money is gone. If you need help, please call me, Tom Laporta, 954-604-4602, or find us at laportaroofing.com. It's simple. When you spend $1, the state matches $2 up to $10,000. They send you a check. I know it sounds too good to be true, but it is. So again, call us at 954-604-4602 or find us at laportaroofing.com.
On the line, we have Bruce. Bruce is a client of Jupiter Joe Thomas. He heard me talking with Joe Thomas about annuities and what a great deal they are, and he went in with his wife, and now he's a client. Hey, Bruce, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Brian.
So tell me about your experience with Jupiter Joe Thomas.
A fine gentleman. We sat down with Joe, and we explained everything to him, and we brought all our information, and he worked everything out great.
The cool thing about annuities is your money's never at risk. You're guaranteed a revenue stream for the rest of your life, but there's a bonus, really a signing bonus, where you can make a boatload of money before you even leave Joe Thomas's office. Can you talk a little bit about that, Bruce?
Well, that's where I was surprised when we sat down. We talked about the bonuses, and to my amazement, it was 10%, and there was even another one that's bigger.
Wow, that's amazing. So you made 10% on your money before you even got back in your car.
Yeah, it was more than that, but it was great.
Listen, guys, do what Bruce did. Give Jupiter Joe Thomas a call. You can set up a free consultation either on the phone or in the office, and Joe Thomas will put together a custom proposal just for you. His number is 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999, and online at jupiterjoe.com. All right, Bruce, thanks so much.
All right, thank you, Brian.
All right, we're back on Brian's Brian Craig Show podcast. I want to tell you guys about the laser away pain treatment from Dr. Appleton. You know, not only has Dr. Appleton, without drugs, without surgery, without injections, you know, without anything, with just his laser away pain treatment, has rid me of pain 7 times, including my arthritis pain. I had arthritis. It was bad, man. I was almost in tears. My arthritis was so bad. You know, I got that arthritis cream. I'm taking over-the-counter medication, and I'm like, I can't handle this anymore. I got to go see Dr. Appleton. I didn't know I had arthritis for sure, and he examined me and said, you got arthritis? It's arthritis. And I did not know that he could help with arthritis, but he did. It's been about a year. He treated me. The arthritis is gone. It is not returned. And I remember when Dr. Appleton told me I had arthritis, it was devastating for a second until he told me he could treat it. Because I thought, oh, man. Because I remember when I was a kid, my grandparents, and I'd see old people around, they had arthritis in their hands. They had the massive knuckles. They couldn't do anything with their hands. And I was like, well, that's it. I'm done, doc. And he's like, no, I can treat arthritis with the laser treatment. And he did, and I'm pain-free. The laser treatment works on every type of pain I have ever heard of. It is amazing. I've met so many listeners that are now living a pain-free life from all kinds of pains, from every part of your body, their body you can imagine, because they listened to me and went to see Dr. Appleton. We have patients that have traveled to see Dr. Appleton from all over the United States who listen to me. He is that good. He can rid you of pain like he's done with me 7 times. Appointments are not necessary. Walk-ins are welcome, even on Saturdays. Now, if you're coming from out of town or out of state, you might want to make an appointment, and you can make an appointment. Also, if you have scans or x-rays, bring them with you. Doc will be glad to look them over. Give Dr. Appleton a call and say bye-bye to your pain. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. All right. So Bobby Kennedy is awesome. And he went up against Pocahontas today. Listen to this.
I never promised that I was going to recommend products with which there is no indication.
When you said...
And I know you've taken $855,000 from pharmaceutical companies, Senator.
Okay, so he called... oh, boy. He called it... Bobby Kennedy, because before he even became MAGA, he had the respect of everyone because of his dad and his uncle. And I'll tell you guys, when you're done listening to me and watching me, don't do it now, but look up the Bobby Kennedy interview that was done by Megyn Kelly a couple years back. He detailed the assassination of his father and his uncle and walked through everything that really happened, in particular his father. His father, Bobby Kennedy says, was not killed by Sirhan Sirhan. He goes through the whole story in detail with a lot of famous people who were there. His father, Bobby Kennedy Sr., was assassinated by his very own bodyguard. And that's Bobby Kennedy talking. And he goes through some similar crazy things that the government did with his uncle, President Kennedy. And I remember when Bobby Kennedy went to that MAGA rally and endorsed President Trump, and he came out on stage. You know how the guts that it takes for a Kennedy to walk out on the stage of a crowd of tens of thousands and endorse a Republican for president, especially this one? Our great president, Donald Trump, took a lot of guts. He's a tough guy. And everyone at that rally stood up and gave Bobby Kennedy Jr. a standing ovation out of the respect for him, for coming out and endorsing this great president we have, Donald Trump, and because of his father and his uncle. And I believe President Kennedy and Senator Kennedy would be very proud of Bobby Kennedy Jr., watching him each and every day in this great cabinet position, doing all the things he's doing. And right here with Elizabeth Warren, when you're a Democrat, you get dressed down by a Kennedy, no matter what it looks like on TV, it hurts to these people because they worship the Kennedys, especially her. She's the senator. Does she have his uncle's old seat? She's from Massachusetts. She's one of the senators from Massachusetts. That's where President Kennedy was senator. Bobby Kennedy was a senator from New York. He was carpetbagging up there in New York. But for a sitting United States Democrat senator from the state of Massachusetts to be dressed down by Bobby Kennedy Jr., the son of Senator John F. Kennedy, who went on to be the president, that's a pretty historic moment. And it's amazing. And I think his uncle would be proud and disgusted with Pocahontas. And I think his dad would be too, and disgusted with Pocahontas as well. And I love how he called her out on that she is, she's a paid off legally, but she's in bed with the pharmaceuticals. They own her. And she's not alone, you know, and over her time in government, I'm sure she's gotten more than that 800 and some thousand. That might be just for this most recent rate. I don't know. But, yeah, you know, and I hope they pass a law that the pharmaceutical companies are not allowed to advertise because they own the news. They own the news. And because they own the news, the news doesn't report the true stories about these pharmaceuticals on all kinds of things. And Bobby Kennedy, I thought Bobby Kennedy was amazing today. The whole hearing was amazing. And I could play clips all day. I'm not, but that was my favorite, you know, with Elizabeth Warren, and because of the, you know, the connection, of course, to his uncle having that Senate seat. But I'll tell you that things have changed, and they've changed quite a bit in this second term of Trump. The whole country's changed. The government's changed. The American people have an expectation of our government that they didn't have before. We're in a whole new spot, man, that we've never been in. Now, if you'd like to support all of my content, my YouTube channel, my podcast, all the content I bring you, become a Patreon supporter. There's a link to my Patreon page in the description of the video. If you become a Patreon supporter, you get access to commercial-free editions of all my podcast episodes, by the way, as well as access to a lot of things that my wife and I both post that we post nowhere else. And if you become a top Patreon supporter, you get your name up here on screen on YouTube, and top Patreon supporters get a live thank you shout out on all podcast episodes. So the names you'll hear now are my top Patreon supporters. I want to thank SFjr, Christine, ETW, Chuck, Pamela, Nick, Wesley, Doris, Heather, David, Maria in Texas, Alice, LeeZep, Shawna, George, Brandon, John, Frank, Dale, Tina, David, Laura, Rob, Wes, Sue, and Janice. These are my top Patreon supporters. Thank you so much, guys. Again, the link to my Patreon page is in the description of this episode on whatever platform you're listening on, and you can go directly to the website at patreon.com/Real Brian Craig Show. That's patreon.com/Real Brian Craig Show. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. This is where MAGA comes to talk. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. My name's Brian. Take care.